afternoon and welcome to an absolute feast of racing, the Compton Stakes over a straight furlong. The ground is pretty firm today and the atmosphere is building. This has been the most hotly anticipated race of the season. A lot of action in the anti-post betting. Currently the joint favourites are Gobbler's End and Too Tight for My Girth, both at 5-2, 3-1 for Tom Hanks and 8-1 Bar. And let's just have a look at the form of some of the runners in the paddock now. You can see there Tom Hanks with Willie Faulkner aboard. He's frothing up a bit in the paddock, but don't worry, he normally does that. Gets a little overexcited, probably too many oats this morning. Closely followed by Guinevere with Arthur on board. And of course this one pulls to the left, but on this straight track shouldn't be too much of a problem. And there we see Gobbler's End with Branwell Bronte in the plate. Really fine filly this. Incredible turn of speed in the last 200 yards. And as the runners and riders go behind, let me turn to you, Wally, and ask how you see this contest shaping up.
Well, Shobley, it's a mouth-watering lineup. It should be a fantastic race. It's to be fair, it's a first-class field, and the conditions really couldn't be any better.
And they're off, and Guinevere is off to a flyer. It's Guinevere from Tom Hanks, from Too Tight for My Girth, from Gobbler's End, from Two Man Bucket. Guinevere in fantastic shape here, taking control of the early stage of the race. I don't believe it.
Lost it,
Oh, that's a tragedy for the young blonde lad. He'll have bad dreams about that in his bed tonight.
It's Tom Hanks from Too Tight for My Girth, from Gobbler's End, from Two Man Bucket. Will Tom Hanks get the distance? Too Tight for My Girth is gaining on him. It's Tom Hanks from Too Tight for My Girth. As we enter the last furlong, it's neck and neck. It's going to be a grandstand finish. Tom Hanks and Too Tight for My Girth. Tom Hanks has stumbled. Tom Hanks has stumbled, leaving Too Tight for My Girth in the lead in the last stages of the race. And Too Tight for My Girth takes the 2001 Compton Stakes with Gobbler's End second, Tom Hanks third, Two Man Bucket in fourth, and Guinevere pulled up. I'm afraid Arthur's been unseated. And that's a terrible disappointment.
I'm not having it.
And as Arthur makes his way dejectedly back to the weighing room, let's examine the closing stages of the race again with Wally.
Yeah, up to this point, Shobley, the young Scotsman's technique was absolutely faultless. But there's a critical moment. I think it's just here. There. You just can't make this type of mistake at this level. You're always going to get punished. And when you're up against riders of this quality, you look at young Dumas. The Frenchman, his technique mightn't be as good, but he was steady and he kept going all the way to the finishing line. It was a beautiful race to watch.
And I have the winning jockey and his mount with me now. Alexander Dumas, you came from France to win this race.
I did indeed. Come all the way from France.
You justified favouritism, joint favourite 5-2. Would you like to say something to the punters who you won money for?
I wasn't aware of the odds. I just knew that when I set off from the starting race, I just knew I was going to win. I could see it at the end there.
So you felt your mount was well prepared by the stable?
Well, the mount was okay, but I'm quite glad that we actually did make it through the qualifying round. At first I really did think that maybe, I didn't have a bit of a chance. It started to slow puncture on the side there, but at the end of the day, I'm very happy. We're going off for a slap at brunch now.
And of course, this is the third time that a French stable have taken the Compton Stakes. Something for the glory of France. À la gloire de la France.
Indeed, yes, indeed. Oui, as we say in France.
And from first to last, I am now with the jockey Arthur, whose mount Guinevere, of course, threw him just after the off. How do you feel now, Arthur?
Well, I'm not very impressed with it all, really.
No, especially being beaten by a French horse. The honour of Britain has been quite badly damaged here.
Exactly, and I don't think it's regulation anyway. We really do have to look at his pressures and things.
Yes, well, there is a steward's inquiry.
And there was bin bags on the course. Bin bags. Spacehopper bin bag, it's mainly a distractor thing, what are you supposed to do?
Well, do you hope that maybe you will be reinstated from last to first after the steward's inquiry?
I think that probably will happen. Looking at the way that I've progressed through the race, there was some serious tampering. I felt like I was being pulled backwards. I really did, right. And I want it looked at. Okay.
And it wasn't the fact that you were thrown by your mount. But that's fair enough. I think we'll let him alone with his private thoughts at this moment, where he has, of course, sadly let down the honour of the British racing world. And so a jubilant Alexandre Dumas lifts the Compton Stakes.
Yeah, Shobley, this is what racing's all about. I just wish it was me up there.
We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
Thanks for joining us today, and until next year, good racing.